listeners, if you don't hear from us again, we have gotten into the trees business. It's a whole thing. We can't go through it again. We just did it, but
it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, essentially.
I mean, yeah.
sorry. All the best schemes are.
Sorry. MLM.
Yes. As a recovering member of an MLM from my youth, I can tell you that they are every bit as crooked as you might think they are. But one of the guys had a Jaguar in the parking lot, so he was clearly successful. So I could have been clearly successful.
I was once a BMG member.
Yeah, I guess that is essentially the same thing. We'll tell y'all when you get older.
For a penny.
Those were the days.
It was all about Columbia House. Come on, man.
Yeah, shout out Columbia House. And shout out this episode of the Fairly KickAss podcast. You know, I think at least we have some back in the days to talk about on this episode. But before I get too far ahead of myself, Zach, Dan, Jay, we are going through one of our SomeOnes episodes. I think this is the fourth one we've done. We essentially are each randomly given a year from like 1975 to 2025. So about a 50-year span. In that year, our assignment is to talk about a number one song. Qualifications, you might ask. Guardrails, criteria. No, none of the above. It can be a chart. It can be any chart. It doesn't have to be the Billboard charts. It can be charts in the UK, Australia, Scotland, wherever in the world. And we do our thing, and then you listen to it, I guess, and decide if you listened to something that you liked. I don't know. There's really not a call to action after this one.
I mean, not at all.
not really. I mean, just besides stick around, because if you don't like this one, I'm sure there's something else somewhere in the feed that you're going to like. In fact, I'd almost guarantee it, but I don't want to be legally responsible for something like that. But the one kind of like line that runs through almost all of our episodes is none of them have guardrails. Like, if you think we put rules and planning and rehearsing into stuff? Like, come on now.
No.
Listen, guardrails are important because they tell us what we've broken.
No, guardrails are important because as we're driving our logging trucks up those roads, we're going to need them so we don't fall off the side of the mountain.
Right. The logs. I forgot.
We can't lose the black walnut, boys.
It's all about the black walnut and the white oak.
Mm-hmm. It's a cash cow.
Tree. I can. Oh wait, I got it. I can already see it painted on the side of the truck. I can already see it. It's right there. It's. We don't have to use our names. We can do it. I mean, hardwood, rich mahogany logging. And in the commercial, we can each take turns being rich.
Oh yes.
There is no single rich. He'll be whoever happens to show up early that day on set.
We may get sued by Effie Trinket, but it will be worth it. It will be worth it. What are we doing? We're
at 3 minutes in, and I'm not even sure where I am at this point.
Same. The years that we were given for the episode. Yours truly has 1983. Dan, you have 1999. It's the year we're going to party like. And then Jay, you have 2002, and that year might also be a party. Who knows?
Oh, it's a party.
Let us do a random number generator to see what our batting order will be. How long does it take me to Google this? Holy shit.
Too many times. We never.
Yeah. Look, it's not like we've ever done something like this, so it's hard to kind of gauge what you need to do to get that ready.
Right.
It really is our first episode, yeah.
Absolutely.
Dan, you are going first, my friend. I will be going second. Jay, you will be batting up the rear.
Perfect.
To what?
Jay, you will be batting at the rear. I don't know. We've talked about how little I know about baseball in this episode. Third. Jay will be batting third just because the rest of this is getting
You've said words before, right? You've had conversations with people.
That's where my brain was
Clearly
stuck.
Not. Clearly not.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
What are you going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about 1999. And where the party was, in fact, at that point.
Ooh, excellent.
There's not a clock on this time, or that's a different show.
No,
It's a different show.
Oh, cool. Okay. So I apologize now for stream of consciousness, because that's what you're going to get. And I know, I think I know that in this segment, there's a very high chance that we take a look at some of the lesser known songs that have hit the top of the charts in a given year. And then we just like to pretend that we're going to serve some sort of educational purpose with that. We always like to buck the trend. But sometimes it's worth taking another look at one of the biggest songs of the so-called year. So-called year? No, that happened. 1999, in fact, happened. This is why I shouldn't vamp.
You're doing great.
But this time, I think it's worth looking at a very important song in the ethos of 90s music, which is a very wide swath, actually, if you really want to put that together. But tonight, I tell you a little bit about the final song to reach the top spot in the Billboard Hot 100 in the 20th century. In fact, it held that top spot for the final 10 weeks of the century and continued that chart dominance into 2000, picking up the pinnacle slot the week of October 23rd and not relinquishing it until January the 15th. And it almost seems too appropriate that the song that wrote out Y2K, sorry, I actually did legitimately write Y2J and had to correct myself in the middle of reading that. I have a problem.
That's what's coming next.
But it does seem too appropriate. The song that wrote out Y2K and ushered in that new millennium was a collaboration between a 70s guitar god and a pop rock superstar that really could have only become a pop rock superstar in the time that he and his band came to prominence, that late 90s adult alternative scene. And whether you look back on this song fondly or have been happy that it has finally been stopped being overplayed, maybe. The last smash hit of the 20th century and the last Billboard #1 is Smooth from Santana featuring Rob Thomas. And I decided to highlight so pervasive a track kind of for that reason, and the fact that this song seems to have gotten more than its fair share of malignment over the last 26, 27, sweet Jesus, we're old as fuck, lads, years. So in the short amount of time that I've been given here, I'm aiming to answer a pair of questions. First and foremost, is Smooth really that bad a song, deserving 2.5 decades of getting clowned on online? And second, is nostalgia a positive or a negative for it? And I think I can address question B right from the jump, because I'm probably sitting on the fence for that one. If you're a millennial, you may have a little revulsion towards Smooth because you have probably heard it so many times. You know the chords to Santana's fill solos, and you've never picked up a guitar in your life. The song was absolutely everywhere, not just for its 3-month run atop the charts, but in the intervening years. It keeps getting named to best of or all-time list. It's front and center anytime there's like a collection video on YouTube or a playlist that gets put out around the sounds of the late 90s or millennial music, which we should put a pin in that concept and come back to that at some point as well.
Yes, we should.
Unfortunately, we resemble that remark. And depending on your choice of radio station listening, it never really left you. Like, it maintained regular rotation on several adult and pop-oriented genres. So that could be why it's also continued to resonate, because it's always just been there. And therefore, it still kind of sounds timeless. Musically more so. I think we can agree that Thomas's vocals are very much of their time and place. But the rest of the track could be a pop rock song from just about any era, and it would find a place to fit in. But that, in fact, takes us deeper into the song itself, which seemed like it was looking back now, it seemed to be that it would be destined to be the hit. But that was not expected to be a smash whatsoever. It was the last track that was given to Santana for that Supernatural album. It was actually rewritten by Thomas when he was brought onto the project, starting life out as a salsa song about an illicit hotel rendezvous with a groupie, which is exactly what you think of when you think of Carlos Santana. And while Thomas and the original writer, Ital Shore, were chilling out and enjoying the songwriting process in his New York apartment, Carlos needed to be convinced that this song was A, a hit, and B, should have been the lead single that the record's producers had been looking for. but all the pieces just kind of fell into place. And I think that's another aspect that keeps the song in our collective memories. It is very much a track that is the sum of all its parts. It's not the same. It wouldn't be the same without Thomas's delivery, which admittedly moonwalked all over that line of doing too much and just barely pulling back to keep him vocally in believable territory. It's far from a compelling track without Carlos Santana's hands literally all over it. And let's not forget about the rest of the band. Carlos's band weren't just some studio guys. He didn't bring in 8 jabronis. There were tremendous amounts of talent up and down that band roster, blending their unique efforts into this Latin-infused sound that was also at the forefront of the pop zeitgeist at that moment. And again, holding up part of the argument that as good as the song may be, maybe it's only a smash hit at the turn of the century. To be fair, it's not to say this is a perfect track. The songwriting collaboration produced a very straightforward piece of work that is not that deep, not overly poetic, gets the job done, serves its purpose, which honestly is just to kind of frame up the track for Carlos to solo around. But there is that phantom, which often taints opinions of the track, and it is hard to shake. The fact that it was literally everywhere back in the day and still, as we mentioned, remains kind of omnipresent nearly 3 decades later, understandably elicits some opinions that many have, and they would be perfectly happy to never hear about a hot one again. And I can't dissuade you if that's where you put the song. I don't even necessarily think you're wrong. Hell, I was personally done with it for quite a while. And I will even make the argument that Maria Maria is the far superior single off that record. And for some reason, Smooth is just the one that caught fire. And maybe that's really the story that Smooth has to tell. A tale of a piece of music that almost didn't come together, that really wasn't wanted by its main artist at first, and yet had enough there to make an impression that has far outlasted its drawbacks and will always hold a place as that final number 1 of the 20th century on the Hot 100, as well as being a 3-time Grammy winner, and the track that Billboard would put in the number 2 spot when they ranked their all-time Hot 100 chart, first for their 50th anniversary in 2012, and then again 10 years later for their 60th. And if your chart legacy is only being bested by Chubby Checker and the Twist, I guess you didn't do that bad as a song, huh?
Bravo. Very, very nice. Both to you and to Rob Thomas and Carlos Santana.
Yeah. I agreed with pretty much everything you said. And it's fun to think of it as sort of, I guess, like technically an elder millennial, though I identify as Gen X because I'm a cusp baby who grew up at the ass end of Appalachia. But I don't have a negative outlook toward the song. I actually quite like it. And even in the moment, quite liked it. And I don't like Maria Maria. I think the guitar part in Maria Maria is god-awful. It's annoying.
Yeah, agreed.
Vocals are fine, but the guitar part is annoying as all hell. Whereas the guitar part on Smooth is killer.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be that guy, but it is a very smooth song. It's
I realized I did all of that and didn't do some sort of pun on Smooth. So
that's right. Zach got your back.
Right there. Way to be there to pick up the fumble and run it over the goal line.
Hell yeah.
Admittedly, both of those songs are better than the weird Everlast tune that was released as a single in between them.
Correct. And I would put both of those songs above almost pretty much every other collaboration on both that record and the next one. No offense to Alex Band, but
yeah, no. I mean, I don't care about him. It's fine.
Mean, whatever.
I don't know, man. I'm going to bat for Alex Max Band. Shout out The Calling. Shout out Adrian. Good jam.
I mean, yes, that song is in fact a jam. I'm glad you went with that one because speaking of their hit being not good and probably problematic if we really dug into it.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh no, it's Every Breath You Take Redux, isn't it? Man.
Yeah, actually. And let me tell you, the music video only makes it worse.
As long as bro isn't like showing up like Spaghetti from Tim and Eric, like that would be the worst vibe. That would be the absolute worst. But yes, no, this feels like the perfect song, I feel like, to usher us into the new millennium. And it is nice to see that, Rob Thomas and Matchbox 20 walked so that the Fray could run. So we owe them that for sure.
Did they run? I feel like they whispered.
Kind of ambled.
Ambled, yeah, that's good.
Sauntered, maybe, if you will.
They had a little jaunt going.
So, that's kind of cool though. So, like, Dan, you chose the song that like ushered us into the new millennium. Zach, you had the year 1983, so you have the opportunity to usher us into the video era, because that's sort of the vibe there. Is that true? Like, is the video for your song something that is of note?
I don't think it's necessarily of note. It is. I mean, it certainly happened. It does have a music video. There was nothing that I could think of that was remarkable. There was shaving cream. I think that was probably like the biggest part of it. But perhaps that's a little bit of a giveaway.
Yeah,
to what the song is. So, like you said, the year's 1983, and if I have not spoiling it yet, then I will try my best not to spoil it until I get to the big quote.
He hasn't had conversations with people. Like, words are not his thing today.
I really haven't, bro.
I mean, look, there are days where the brain just don't word good. I understand it.
I really haven't.
Having technically professionally spoken for a living for like 2 decades, there are just days. There are just those days, man, where
you're batting up the rear.
When you're batting up the rear, and there's no way in hell will you be able to correctly say Yevgeny Kafelnikov, no matter how many times you try.
Yeah, I don't even think I could get through Mark Philippoussis. Oh, let's go.
Hey, there we go.
We back.
And you brought it back.
So for those who are not familiar with the song yet, we're going to talk about two titans of the music industry, arguably, and no offense to Mr. Santana or Mr. Thomas, but arguably bigger than both of those two names. But those are going to be more set dressing, more of the background to this most peculiarity, for lack of a better term, from the Billboard charts. Look at the Vibes episode, Look With Your Ears, because that's how hearing works, from October 2024, where we talk a lot about the Billboard chart, where we talk about some very cool intricacies and very interesting things around the Billboard Hot 100 specifically. This is, I guess you could look at it as kind of like a bolt-on to that, kind of like an add-on, but I just wanted to call out that episode because I thought it was fun and because it was, relevant to what I said and actually relevant to Dan, a lot of what you had mentioned too, just with the 100 biggest songs of all time chart specifically, which I will get to my song's contribution in just a minute. For that song, 6 weeks total at number one from December 1983 through about the middle part of January of 84. And that in and of itself is not terribly remarkable. We know that there have been songs that have been at number one for almost 20 consecutive weeks. I think the record is currently sitting at 19. And so 6 is good. 6 is great. But what is remarkable is who exactly is involved in this song and how prolific of a song it is compared to the other songs in those catalogs, plural, because between the two of them, they do have multiple very, very grandiose catalogs that somehow this song has gotten near or at the top of all of. For one of the artists, 7 weeks is the max of any track that they have released solo. For the other artists, we're looking at 9 weeks. So certainly right there in the ballpark. But when you think of those two artists, when you think of Billie Jean being at the top for 7 weeks, when you think of Hey Jude being at the top for 9 weeks, being at number one, I Want to Hold Your Hand also being at the top for 7 weeks. Do you then, in your heads, either you two or anyone listening, do you then, in entering the pantheon of Michael Jackson and Beatles, but specifically Paul McCartney catalog tracks, does your mind then go to, yeah, but what about Say, Say, Say?
Never.
Not
one time.
Hasn't happened. except for back in 1983 when it apparently did. Say, Say, Say is number 50 on the Billboard 100's top 100 biggest songs of all time, only bested by Hey Jude, the aforementioned, Silly Love Songs by Wings, notches it out by a couple of marks, and nothing from Michael Jackson's catalog whatsoever up in that top 100. Now, granted, this is the top 100 biggest songs on the Billboard Hot 100, and that's where the peculiarity comes in, because we have to look at pop as popular music. We have to look at the fact that that same chart, that same list, I should say, ranking higher than Say, 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 which was number 50, you had songs like Mood by 24K Golden featuring Ian Dior. You had Too Close by Next. You had Les Freaks by Chic. Fun songs, cool bops. Are they part of the top 50 most prolific pop songs of all time? An argument has been made. Instead of Beat It and Bad and literally pick a song in the Beatles catalog. It certainly is going to make an argument of being ranked higher than Say, 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 but nay, 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 because the charts would dictate otherwise. This is not at all like a slight against the track whatsoever. I am going to leave that slight to The Girl Is Mine, which is just Paul and Michael defecating on studio microphones for about 3.5 minutes. But as far as Say, Say, Say goes, it's fine. It's lyrically, it's the basic, please call me, I'm waiting for your call. It's the 1980s, so I literally can't leave the room until you call me, girl. Like that kind of track. But it's Paul McCartney and it's Michael Jackson, so of course it sounds good. Arguably the best part is the bridge, where there's not really a ton of vocals, but you do have a cool harmonica thanks to Chris Hammersmith. You have some really cool horns that were overdubbed in. Shout out to Jerry Hay, Ernie Watts, Gary E. Grant, and Gary Herbig. And then, of course, you have the hee-hees. Those, of course, belonging to Mike. But ultimately, like, Paul sounds good. Mike sounds good. The song sounds good. It's not what you would think when looking at the upper echelon or even the lower echelon of any of the work that they have done, either with their respective groups or their solo work. But then again, we don't work within the confines of what should be. We work within the confines of what is, and especially with this podcast being so geared towards popular music, because everything revolves around popular music. It's always fun to find an interesting outlier like this that kind of flips the script on the way that we would have looked at an artist, or in this case, two different artists' catalogs, and what is most prolific and quote unquote best in said catalog. So there you have it. That is my SomeOnes submission for 1983. One of the best Paul McCartney songs and one of the best Michael Jackson songs of all time. Say, Say, Say. It still sounds weird. I just talked about it for 5 minutes and it still sounds weird to say it, but here we are.
It does indeed. I literally never think about that song. The only thing that made me think about it before hearing the words Say, Say, Say were when you mentioned shaving cream in the video.
Because there were only like 3 possibilities that my brain was like, all right, what does that say? Okay, it's one of these 3.
Yeah.
It is kind of interesting to think, like you said, it's sort of the lost single. But I kind of looking at Paul McCartney as like a solo artist. I this might be the place we can draw the line, and then after this, he officially crosses into old fart rock star.
Yeah, I like that. This is like still cool Paul McCartney.
Something along that line.
Yeah,
and then I enjoy the song, but then you go back to like No More Lonely Nights, which I think was the next or the second next single off of Pipe to Peace, and you're like, okay. I mean, it's fine for him, but look, age is undefeated, and Paul McCartney this is the point where Paul McCartney decided he's going to stop throwing hands. Okay. That's where that's all I would say. Like, this was his last, he threw a haymaker here. And then just kind of let Father Time finish off the fight.
43 years ago.
Jesus. I mean, the most shocking part of that, what you said, Dan, is that this was still like Pipes of Peace was still his 6th solo album.
Right.
You know, post Wings, post Beatles, like that was so impressive. And he still had several solo albums even after that point. But yeah, this definitely, I feel like, was the turning point of the career.
Okay.
To musician emeritus, I guess.
Yeah, not like when I say that, that's not to say that he did do good stuff and it hasn't written anything that's worth listening to since 1983. That's not the case at all. But he did write Spies Like Us. So you're just kind of moving into a different era. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want to have more to say about this song. I just don't.
Yeah, no, like,
which I think is kind of your point, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
And also, interestingly enough, it does keep the theme of ending one year at number one and kicking into 84, grabbing a couple weeks on top as well.
It does indeed. Yeah, it does indeed.
Okay, now I got to look at that for mine. Actually, I'll let one of you guys do that research. I'm done doing research on this song.
All right. I've already kind of got that open, so I guess I can just do that.
Well, it's going to be a little trickier because mine is one of those lesser known number ones, as Dan called it. And then Zach, you called yours a peculiarity, and mine certainly is that. But the reason I went for this song is because of another thing you said, Zach. You made a comment about how we don't deal within the confines of what should be. We deal within the confines of what is, right. Which isn't true, because one of the next things we're going to be recording is a Billboard re-rack, which is the confines of what should have been.
That's fair. That's super fair.
Touche.
But we're doing that for the year 2002, which is the year I had for this particular SomeOnes. And so I had to get a little weird with what I was looking for. The song I chose spent 3 non-consecutive weeks at number one in Australia, 11 in France. And in fact, it reached number one in every country it charted in, except Japan, Croatia, and notably the United States, where it peaked at number 54 and didn't make the year-end chart. So it's interesting in that. Right. It was number one on the year-end charts in 11 countries, mostly European, including both regions of Belgium. And that's probably what led it to being the number one song on the year-end Eurochart Hot 100. It also, very weirdly, made number one in the decade-end chart in the Netherlands. So this is a very, very, very famous song everywhere in the world outside of the United States. It's the Ketchup Song by Los Ketchup. The other title of this song is Asarehe. Okay, this is a much stranger, much cooler, and more unfairly dismissed than its novelty hit reputation suggests. On paper, the song is about a young man named Diego walking into a nightclub where his DJ friend plays his favorite record, Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang. Diego dances, he sings along, and he mangles the English lyrics into Spanish-sounding nonsense. That's where the asareje comes in. It's not some profound hidden phrase, but a gloriously incorrect imitation of I said a hip, hop, a hibbit, whatever. You got it. Of course, because the early 2000s were not apparently chaotic enough, this bit of gibberish sparked a bunch of controversy and conspiracy theories, especially in Latin America, claiming that the lyrics contained some secret demonic messages. People tried to break asareje into a ser hereje, which would translate to let's be heretical. And other lines were twisted into supposed references to Jehovah abandoning his being, hell being full of souls, and midnight satanic rituals. A Dominican television station even banned the song, which feels like the highest possible honor for a track this ridiculous. But the controversy almost distracts from the real point. This song sounds pretty fantastic. It's weird, but it's pretty great. And it's unjustly low rated. It might be the coolest song ever doomed to play in supermarkets for the rest of time. The vocals are youthful and weirdly infectious. The background noises are completely demented. And that faux surf revival guitar solo kind of cuts across everything, like someone accidentally invited Surfin' Bird into the 2000s. There's a raw little scream at the 2:19 mark that cuts through the overdubbed murk and briefly turns this goofy, rotten pop artifact into something pretty transcendent. honestly, the title doesn't even have anything to do with anything other than it's by Lost Ketchup, right? So the Ketchup song has nothing to do with anything. And that's kind of part of why I find it a little bit charming. It's nonsense built on misheard nonsense, accused of nonsense, and then somehow all of this works. Dan hates it so much he pushed his microphone away from him.
There was malice. There
was.
We clearly listened to two different songs in this thing here. I will give it this, and I will agree with the one review that I will reference here in a second. It's better than the Macarena.
That was exactly what I was going to say.
Sure.
The dance is worse than the Macarena because there's a dance.
There's a dance.
There's a dance.
Like open palm up. I can't even.
No, it's not even. It's not like it doesn't work because it's it's the audio me and we don't have video on this one. But it's the hand jive is more complicated.
It's such a stupid way to describe
it.
It is absolutely stupid, and I will agree with just the quick amount of reading while you were researching while you were talking, and I found the perfect line from Andy Thomas from Drowned in Sound when he acknowledged that it is, quote, not smart, it's not clever, and it's not going to get a single positive review outside of the teeny bop press.
You would say that, but it made the decade. It was number one on the decade
in the Netherlands.
I'm just saying.
Wow. We're Netherlands listeners. It's catching strays.
It's a ridiculous song, but somehow it hit number one everywhere else in the world. And I mean, it made it onto the charts here. It peaked at number 54. It just didn't make the year end. And I find that amusing.
You know, it honestly has like big Venga Boys energy. Like songs that have no meaning outside of like, these are just words collected in such a way that you're just going to have fun listening to them. Like, I could get behind that.
But I think the Venga Boys stuff I've heard is more danceable. I don't know.
Yeah. Like that phrase it has big Venga Boys energy.
You know, honestly, I don't think we're getting any better. We can just wrap it up right there.
That's it. That's all we got.
I don't think we're going to get any better on this.
Oh, well, listeners, what did you think of that? 3 songs to choose from, 3 that you probably have some varying levels of familiarity with, but let us know what you think about all of them. Let us know if you have a different interesting song from one of those years that you would like to share with us. Again, that was 83, 99, and 2002. Give us your story. Give us your pitch of if you were doing a SomeOnes of one of those years, what song would it be and why? What is interesting about those songs? Or do you have anything else about the songs that we mentioned that maybe we missed? Any fun stats or info or anything? Let us know in all the usual ways. At Fairly KickAss on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. FairlyKickAss@gmail.com for your email correspondence. FairlyKickAss.com for your website things. Again, website under construction as it has been for the latter part of 2 years, but you know, we'll get something. We promise. Scout's honor. And then of course, wherever you wherever you find your podcasts, you will find us. Search for Fairly Kick-Ass. YouTube is cantankerous. We are trying to figure out why shit is not posting immediately. It posts as private. I think I maybe mentioned this in the last episode. So if you noticed a lack of us posting on YouTube Music, it's because YouTube Music is not kind to us. So just hold on. We're going to try to be a little more diligent about checking that and making sure that we get those made public more frequently, probably checking every week or so, just to make sure. Every other platform does not have that same issue. Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, any of the other ones. Just search for us there. If you can't find us, hit us up and let us know, and we will get on to your podcast provider of choice. And with that, gentlemen, do you have any parting words before we bid adieu? Sorry, I was talking to the cat again.
You're fine because he muted himself and then actually had something to say.
No, I didn't. I said nothing. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You know what they say. Everyone's got a plan until they get kicked in the dick.
That's when you have to bat up the rear.
Well, that's it for us.
Yeah, it is, seriously.